Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And I am doing another impromptu live. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all know how I do. I'd probably be more successful if I planned out my lives and like, okay, I'm going live this time, that time. But the way that my shit works is just like, hey, when I'm ready, I'm ready. And when it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. Okay. So today I'm going to be talking about B. Simone coming in to the headlines yet again. It's like, boy, when Hollywood got a target, boy, do they got a target. They will try to dig up any and everything. They will try to, just bring you down any in which in way you can. And, when they want to pick you apart, tear you down, they will go to whatever lengths they can to pick apart and tear you down. There are a lot of people who are envious of people's success. There are a lot of people who don't like to see other people win. And now I'm not condoning her plagiarism thing, but a lot of the stuff that she has been getting worn down and beat down and tore down for is bogus. I'm going to be the first to say. Like, I feel like people have mob bully mentality and they are just like, oh, we got, it's like, okay, hey guys, who are we going to bully today? Like, who's the one that we're all going to like mob today and bully? Oh, B. Simone? Okay, let's mob it. Like, I feel like a lot of this is very much group sheep mob mentality, period. But before I get into all of that, I'm going to tell you guys what resurfaced. I'm going to tell you guys what's going on and give you guys a little bit more of a breakdown, a breakdown on this whole situation. But I got to plug myself first. So I sell items on neekatnight.com. It's spelled exactly like my channel. I am wearing a 2-piece set on my website right now. This is a 2-piece set. And it comes like this, and it has a built-in mask. So this, I'm saying you cool, and then you just like too close. Wait a minute, whoa, hold up. You just gotta, I gotta block you real quick. So this has a built-in mask. This is available on my site, and I have it in other colors. And when you're ready to, when they back up and they give you your 6 feet, then you could go mask on and then hit them with the mask off right quick like that, real quick. Okay. So this is available on my website, so be sure to check it out. I have blue, gray, and what other color do I have? I don't know, but I have to add all of my inventory. After I go live, I'm gonna be adding all of not all, but most of my new inventory. So be sure to check my website out. I want to say, give me till about maybe like later on tonight. I will, sit down and have all of the extras added. But you know what I'm saying? We got this with the built-in mask, this 2-piece. Make sure to, cop that. Okay. All right, so now let's get into B. Simone. So if you guys don't know, she came under fire a few times within the last few weeks. And one of the instances, I believe it started with the whole Black Lives Matter comment and in regards to George Floyd's situation. So there was a lot of protests going on. A lot of people were looking for justice. And she posted up a tweet and she was talking about how, she didn't really want to come off as the angry, mad Black woman. She's a Christian woman. So she wanted to kind of collect herself and then speak when the time is right, when she has the right words. A lot of people didn't like that because they're like, okay, well, you don't act Christian-like all the time. So how you picking and choosing when it comes to activism to be Christian-like? I understand people calling her out, but trying to cancel her for that reason, I don't think that was cancel her worthy. I think that if you don't agree with her, being Christian-like here and then saying, well, I want to collect my thoughts, then, that be that. But people went on like a cancel party, and I feel like that was unwarranted. I don't feel like she said anything that was, I'm going to just tell you how I viewed it. I viewed the tweet as, listen, a lot of us act instantly off of emotion. And rightfully so in the George Floyd situation, a lot of us had every right to act off of emotion because we literally seen a Black man die right before our eyes on live. But I think her her point of view from that was just like, I understand a lot of us, we act out of emotion and we get angry. And when we do that, we don't collectively say it how it needs to be said. That's kind of how I took it. Like, the Christian thing was kind of unnecessary, but that's kind of how I took it. Like, I'm a Christian. I'm just trying to reserve and speak when I have the right words. That's kind of how I took it. So then next thing happened was she said that she didn't want to date a guy with a 9-to-5. Now, being that she is an entrepreneur, she is into the $1 million tax bracket. Her lifestyle is a little bit different. I also did not see what was wrong with that. Now, when I see girls who I know ain't got no M's, when I know they ain't got no money like that, when I know, like, girl, how you want a nigga to be a millionaire, but you ain't a millionaire yourself, then I look at those types of women with the side eye when they make those comments. But if you are a woman who is a person in her, it's kind of like, you're going up and up. I feel like if that's what she chooses, that's what she chooses. She doesn't have to date somebody who's not right there if she don't want to. But a lot of people was like, oh my God, she dissing people with a 9-to-5. How dare she? She used to work a 9-to-5. And when I looked at it, I didn't take it that way. I took it as I leveled up. And now that I leveled up, I'm not going to go, back. This is just like if you start working at McDonald's and then, while you working at McDonald's, you can't be like, I ain't dating nobody at McDonald's. But if you do your 5 years in college, however long in college, then you get your college degree, you more than likely ain't gonna date a guy that worked at McDonald's, even though you worked at McDonald's at one point. It's called, you leveled up. And I feel like people have the right to level up. So I didn't see a problem with that. So then the next thing, which I agree with was problematic, was, we finally came to something that was, like, cancel. Okay, you don't fuck with her. Plagiarism is a big thing in the whole book world. She had this book. She said that she was all hands in. She was like, listen, I wrote this book. I stayed up. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this. This is all me. Everything is me, blah, 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 blah. Then when the book came out, it was very much not all her. Some of it was her, like her actual journals, but a lot of it was copy and paste. I understand people being mad at that. So then finally I was like, okay, that's something, to be mad about. Plagiarism is a big deal in the writing world. Like, you can't do that. That's like we learned that in grade school, that you cannot be plagiarizing stuff. And we learned that in school. Like, you just can't do that. So that, I'm like, okay. Now this whole thing that we're going to go into now with the homophobic slurs that she has said, where people was like, oh my God, she's homophobic. I feel like at this point, people are literally just trying to pick any and everything. Like, just trying to, like, okay, what can we nitpick now? Okay, like, are we done bullying her? No, we're not. Okay, so let me find something else. Are we done bullying her? No. Okay, so let me find something else. I think that people are just trying to nitpick and find something else. I also think that the people who are outraged, most of the people who are outraged and saying that she's homophobic, I feel like are hypocritical as fuck. Like, they'll be the same people who they're like, no, you can't call me tranny and you can't say this, but they'll be like, that fucking fish. Like, okay, but you don't want me to call you this, but then you have no regard for what I want to be called. But then you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a bunch of hypocrisy and bullshit. But I'm going to share what she said, and I'm going to share it. But I'm just so tired of the hypocritical shit that I be seeing. Like, I am so fed up. Like, it's just so annoying. Like, these people will be like, oh, hell no, she's homophobic, fish. But then they're like, you want her to do better and you want her to respect you, but then you disrespect her and you show no respect for females. And that's the shit that I don't like. Like, you have these people who have zero respect for females, always dissing us. Oh, fish this, fish that. And they claim it's an endearing term. But why every time that we hear the word fish now, it's always met with the highest disrespect? But let them tell it, it's endearing. It's an endearing word. You know what I'm saying? hypocritical as fuck. Like, it's just hypocrisy. So anyways, let me pull up this clip for y'all. Y'all already know I'm gonna give y'all the real. I don't give a fuck who feel away. I just don't like when people is that hypocritical. Like, it's just, I don't know, like when you are hypocritical to this degree, it kind of like, it just don't sit with me right. Like, it just don't sit well with me right. Like, it just don't. So anyway, so let me pull it up. So this was posted by the Neighborhood Talk, and it says, B. Simone is facing backlash for mocking the LGBT community and using a transphobic slur. Okay. And so the transphobic slur that she used is the word tranny. Now, because I know that it is offensive to some, I respect people and I don't use the word. However, there are a lot of people who are not educated to even know that the word is offensive, because let's be honest, it just doesn't make sense. Like, it just does not make sense. Like, transgender, and you'll go down to saying trans, but then if they add tranny, oh, hell breaks loose. Like, it's, to me, it's silly, but I'm not of the community. I'm not trans. So, just like somebody who is trans can't tell me what to be offended by, I can't tell you what to be offended by. Just like you don't understand why I'm offended by fish, I don't understand why tranny is so offensive, but because I have respect, I don't use it. Just like once I heard like, okay, it's not polite to say, I don't understand it. It doesn't, I'm like, it's an abbreviation that does not make sense at all. Like, that's literally abbreviation of the word. Like, you're trans, it's an abbreviation. But because I have respect, I don't use it because some are offended by it. Not all. There are a large amount of transgender women who are not offended by the word because they just don't care that much, because it is what it is. Like, you transitioned, you went from one thing to the next, and but there are some that are. So, out of respect, I won't use it. Just out of respect. Like, some people are offended by this. All right, cool. Like, I won't use it, period. But not all people are even educated that this is offensive. Like, not even, like, everybody, like, a lot of people, when this happened, they were like, wait, people get mad at that? Like, wait, we can't say that? Like, so sometimes before, but anyway, let me just play it. Let me just play it. So this is what people are mad about.
Just find somebody within your proximity. So, like, I work Midtown.
You can't do that in Atlanta.
Girl. Why not?
Girl. You can't do that shit. You done swiped up on a tranny.
For real?
Yes. Yeah. You won't know until you're in the bedroom with them.
Bitch, I would know. I guess you're right.
I mean, but Atlanta is just a mess.
Yeah. Atlanta, you would have.
Which I have nothing against the LGBT lettuce, bacon, tomato community. But I love all y'all. One of my best friends is a tranny, but she's honest and open. Like, y'all,
it's the DL stuff.
It's the DL stuff that's the problem.
That is the huge problem. I would actually go just say, like, now that, like, does it? Yeah. Okay, it's the DL.
It's not a problem at all.
No,
but friends are
the ones who are open about it.
I have friends that are gay. One of my best friends is
when
gay.
When you say, like, I want, because see, when I hear tranny, T-girl, whatever, I think chick with dick. Right?
I mean, yeah.
Because we're not going to call a girl that's post-op tranny, right?
No.
What do you mean? I'm just saying, because, like, when you hear tranny, what do you think? Like underneath
a guy who's dressing like a girl.
Just find somebody within your proximity. So, like, I work Midtown.
You can't do that.
Okay, so that's pretty much what she said. And when I listened to that, I just heard women who are not transgender, who are basically don't even really know what it is. Like, to me, it's like, like, what is the definition? What is it? And I think that that's why I've had the opportunity on several occasions, or took it upon myself to create the dialogue with transgender women, because there are a lot of people who don't understand that world. If you're not of the world, you're not going to understand that world. So I try to have, these open panel discussions, just like the whole fish gate. That's all I was doing, was having an open discussion so that everybody could talk, because there are a lot of things as a heterosexual woman you don't understand, but instead people will try to bully, and they will be like, oh no, you said that, oh no. But then in the midst of them saying, oh no, you said that, then they're calling you every disrespectful term in the book. It's just crazy. I think what needs to happen is, I think there needs to be a lot more of a education aspect to it. If you are a trans woman and you feel like, I don't want to be addressed as this, I think that there should be more of a approach of education and less of a bully approach. I've seen several people who responded to this with very much a bully mob mentality to things where, to me, it just sounds like, I can't, like, what is this? So what, like, it's like, we're not gonna act like this is something that we grew up knowing about. We know the ins and outs, and we totally understand what it is to be what it is. Like, we don't understand, so you have to ask questions. You seen the girl, she was like, well, what is it? Like, what is it to you? Like, what, you know what I'm saying? But that's why you have to have conversations where you have to invite somebody of trans experience, or, a transgender person, and you have to invite them into those conversations. So to break down what she said, she basically started off by saying, one of the girls was saying she was on some dating profile, and B. Simone said, hey, I'm in Atlanta. You can't really do the whole dating thing because you don't really know what you're going to get on the other end. And a lot of people are not open about it. And then she says, I respect my trans friend, or she said tranny, I respect my good friend because she's honest and open. We have to also acknowledge that there are real ones who are honest and open about it. And then there are, because I have a good friend that is trans as well. Like, that's my bitch. I call in a minute, like, what's tea? What's up? You know what I'm saying? What's good? But I can respect my friend because she's open and honest. And I had the conversation. I'm like, okay, so are you honest about this? Are you know what I'm saying? As long as you honest, I'm cool. But there are people who are not honest about it. There are people who aren't. And I think that instead of bullying, I think that we should definitely have more of a teachable moments. Like, you know what I'm saying? And we can't be hypocrites. Like, you can't sit here and say, don't call me this, but then if somebody tells you they don't want to be called something, you say, oh well, and just, oh well, just take it. Like, oh well, that too bad, too sad. Oh, you don't like it, so what? I've been using it, I've been saying it. Well, I feel like that's kind of the same thing with this. A lot of people didn't even know that this was a thing. They've been saying it. Like, this was a word that when I was younger, this is what, I like, ooh, Eddie Murphy was caught with a tranny, or ooh, that was kind of the headlines that when, as I was growing up, I knew kind of what it was. So it's like, that's what I've always known it to be. You know what I'm saying? But even out of respect, I'm not saying, oh, well, I've known it to be that. Oh, well, if I know something is offensive, I'm gonna stop saying it. So y'all can't sit here and say, oh, I don't like when you say that, but I don't give a fuck what you don't like when I say it. If we are going to respect one another, we need to have respect on both sides. If a woman don't want you to call her something, respect her. As women should also respect what you don't want to be called. We all have to respect one another. And so, I know there'll probably be somebody who take what I say out of context. It is what it is. I'm giving it to you raw and uncut. I'm not cutting no corners. I'm not, I'm just going to tell you what it is. I got love for everybody, but I don't like when people are hypocrites. I don't like when people, like, it's like, ooh, the venom. Somebody said, roommate Ville said, Neek is treading lightly here. I'm not treading lightly. I'm saying what part was treading lightly? What part did I say that was treading lightly? I'm calling it out for what it is. A lot of motherfuckers is hypocrites, and this shit don't make no sense. So what part is treading lightly? Because me even saying that, somebody's panties is gonna be in a bunch, but it is what it is. So I don't know. I was like, what's the tread, sweetie? What's the tread? Also, the other thing that people was mad that she said was the lettuce, bacon, and tomato community, or she said something like that. I didn't have a problem with that either. Like, I'm also not of the community, so, but I feel like that was no different than Dave Chappelle calling LGBT community the alphabet community. Like, I kind of felt like that was kind of, the same type of thing. You have a lot of people in the LGBT community calling themselves the alphabet community because it's like, damn, we literally are out here taking every damn letter, you know what I'm saying? And they roll with it. So I think that the lettuce, bacon, tomato, I feel like that was kind of the same thing, just to me. But again, I'm not LGBT. I'm not of the community. So I can't tell you not to be offended by it, but I'm just on the outside looking in. That's kind of how I equate it. Like, that's kind of how I look at it. And I was just looking at it like, it kind of was a joke as along the same lines of alphabet community. It's like, if you don't get mad at alphabet community, I don't think that you could get mad at lettuce, bacon, and tomato, because I feel like it's the same thing. So let me see what else, because it was something else. So this is more of it.
I know that's a cross-dresser, but the one who lives like a female.
But they taking hormones. They're trying to eventually change into a woman. Like a guy
Right,
that
but
has
are we-
breasts and freaking, you look like a woman, but you have a penis.
But still have a dick. Okay, so
Yeah.
not if you're
Not
if you're
fully
post-op, then we're not using
No.
No.
No, I feel the same way. That's what I'm asking. I
Okay,
just want to
okay.
make one of you hear the word. I think the same thing. I
So
don't
wait,
think
let me ask you,
post-op.
so is Bruce, Caitlyn, Jenner?
Bruce,
He
What
still
is
has a
that?
penis, right?
yeah.
I thought
He's transgender.
I heard he got a.
Or
Is he a tranny?
See,
Let's
transsexual.
ask
the internet.
Listen, transgender means I am now a man calling myself a woman. Transsexual, I think, means you got the sex change.
Oh.
You get what I'm saying?
She's
Asking
over there
the internet.
Google. What she asking Google?
Because I think
it's tricky.
transgender is your different gender. Like
Transgender, unlike transsexual, is a term for people whose identity, expression, behavior,
exactly,
and general sense
exactly.
does not conform to what
transsexual
they were born
changes
as.
the
Okay.
Transsexual, you're changing the parts.
Okay. I know that's a cross-dresser, but the one who lives like.
Okay. And so again, when I listen to this, I listen to people who are not transgender, don't really know, and are basically taking a wild guess. They're like, to me, they're like taking a wild guess, like, what is it? Maybe this is what it is. Okay, this sounds like this is maybe what it is, and I just take it as they don't know, and they're having a conversation on a podcast, but they're just like, is it this? Okay, maybe it's this. Let me Google it. Is Caitlyn Jenner considered this? Because let's not act like it's not confusing. Like, it's very much confusing. The situation is like, you don't really, it's like, I don't know. Like, a lot of people be fronting about, we cannot act like it's something that people wouldn't be confused about if they are not living that lifestyle. Like, if you are not in that lifestyle, you're not going to understand, and you're going to be a little bit confused. You're going to be like, okay, so, what's the difference from if you do have your penis to when you don't have your penis? Like, like, you're going to be confused because it's not a black and white situation. So I feel like this is a conversation of people who were a bit confused, and they're like, okay, wait, so is it a different term for when you do have a penis? Is it a different term for when you don't? And that's kind of what I gathered from that, of them trying to figure out like what does this mean and what does that mean, like, and trying to understand something that is not black and white, because it's like, okay, so is there a difference from when you do? And then it's like people, because I would think that, okay, so let me back up a little bit, because I'm live, so all of my so let me back up. So for me, when I first heard the term or when I first came into the idea of transgender, my view of it was of somebody who was born a male and wants to be a female. And I thought that in order to fully, I thought when I thought the goal was to, if you want to be a female, you were going to transition to get rid of your male anatomy and you were going to completely convert. That's kind of what I thought. You know, I'm like, okay, so this is the full transition or whatever. And I feel like the full transition is different from somebody who did not get rid of their male anatomy. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like how people view it and what people are educated on, I feel like is on a lot of different levels. Because it's like, okay, so you still have your male anatomy, but you want to be considered like you are born like me. And then it's like, you want me to erase the fact that there was a transition that happened. And then you don't want me to acknowledge that you were born a male, but you still have your male parts, but you want me to, you know, it's disrespectful for me to say this. And it's like, so wait, what? So wait, huh? Like, you know, it's kind of like confusing. So you like, you know, looking in, it's like, okay, so, you know, it's like, wait, ain't the point to be all the way a woman, or is, you know, so I feel like a lot of people are confused. And I think to act like they don't have the right to be confused, or to act like, you know, it's a black and white thing, and to have mob mentality, I think it's crazy. Somebody in the comments said it's not that confusing though. I think that it is. I think that it is very confusing. But I'm a person who, I have a friend that is trans, and so I'm educated a lot more than others, but I can still look to my uneducated self and look at the situation as far as like how I used to think, because you know what I'm saying? It's one thing when you know and when you don't know. When somebody actually tells you like, girl, I'm trans, this is what it is. This is how I feel. This is what I'm going through. This, you know what I'm saying? And you can hear it and you can relate and you're like, okay, I understand. But everybody doesn't have somebody that is trans. Everybody doesn't know somebody to educate them. Everybody doesn't have that. So me, I'm looking at it on a surface level for the majority. The majority are going to be very much confused. And that's kind of, it's going to be like, wait, you know what I'm saying? Like, wait, what? Okay, so I can't say this. I can't say that. I can't say this. Okay, I can't do, like, okay, so it's like, okay, so you now, you know what I'm saying? It's like, wait, hold up. Like, you know, it's like, wait, what? So, in a nutshell, just to bring it all into full circle, I think that people were reaching. And I think that people were just trying to kick B. Simone further while she was down. I'm not saying that people don't have the right to be offended by the word tranny. Because if you are offended by it and you are a transgender person, you have the right to be offended by whatever you are offended by. However, if you are offended, I think that rather than bully somebody, I think that you should teach them why you're offended by the word. Because people like me, I mean, people still tell me like, okay, well, this is, you know, tranny was used as derogatory, and I still don't understand how it's derogatory. I don't understand it. So there are several people, and I've had conversations, and I don't understand how. I'm like, that's literally the definition of what it is. That's literally like, how is that derogatory? Like, I still don't understand it. So I think that instead of bullying people, educate them, explain why that's offensive. If I tell you I don't want to be called fish, I can tell you why. I don't want to be called fish because it's affiliated with something that stinks. I don't want to be called fish because oftentimes when people try to diss women, they say, oh, her, like that's kind of like association with bad body odor. That's something associated with like female hygiene, and that's something that a lot of people use against women, like, oh yeah, that bitch, like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't like fish. I don't like what it's associated with. I don't like the word. I don't like I just don't like it. I don't like the connotation to it. It's not something that's pretty. It's not something that's fluffy. If you are somebody who wants to give me a nickname, I prefer a prettier nickname. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't like the word. So if somebody says the words that you are offended by, I feel like rather than bully, explain why you don't like to be called that. Explain why you don't like, why it's offensive, because to even me, I still don't understand, like, the word the F word, the F, FAGG, whatever. I understand why that's offensive. I get it. I understand it and I get it. That word, I don't get it all the way. So it's like, explain it and understand why. And you have people who are transgender who are offended, and you'll have people who are not offended. Just like with the word fish, you'll have women who are offended, and then you'll have women who are not offended. Me, I'm a woman who is very much offended by the word. I don't like the word. I don't care how long you've been using it. Just like you don't give a fuck how long people been using tranny, you don't like the fucking word. So respect it as such and move accordingly, period. And especially when that's the first thing that these people say. As soon as they get mad at you, they like, oh, that fish this and that fish that. But it's an endearing word, right? Like, why every time you're dissing me with the word that you say is endearing? But you know what I'm saying? So it's the hypocrisy for me, basically. I don't think that B Simone will be canceled. I think that, hopefully, keep your head up, girl. I don't know you, never met you. But just when I see certain stuff, I don't like to see people bullied. I think that if you have a legitimate reason to be mad, and not saying that people don't have a legitimate reason to be mad at her using a word that they may deem as offensive. I just think that a lot of people are flocking on the bandwagon. And I think that if you are offended by it, if you're truly offended by her using the word, don't be a hypocrite. Don't then in turn diss women with words that they don't want to be called, because then it's like, the fuck? You know what I'm saying? If you're genuinely a person who wants respect, if you genuinely don't want people to disrespect you, don't disrespect other people. Don't be with a very much dish it but can't take it type of mob mentality. I think that's bogus. I will forever think it's bogus, and I will forever call it out, and I don't care who feel away. That's just that. Like, if you genuinely do not like the word to be used, I can't tell you not to be mad about it. I'm aware that it's offensive. I don't use it. But if you are that person, then you need to meet women, natural born women, with the same respect. Give us the same respect that you want given. When you don't give us the same respect, then it's kind of like, bitch, what? So you want you want to disrespect me, but then you want me to respect you, but then you constantly disrespect me. Tell me, how did that work? I just don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. But if there is anybody who is trans in the comment section, I welcome you to chime in and give your thoughts. I will open up the floor now to have an open and honest dialogue. So I have a huge following that is of the LGBT community. I have a huge following that is of the heterosexual community. And I have always opened the floor with respect. So I will drop the link. And we can have a conversation about this topic. I'll stay for a bit. I ain't gonna argue with nobody. Let's respect one another. And that be that. The StreamYard link is in the chat. So click the link. Let me know what you think about B. Simone. What do you think about the hypocrisy? I'm more, it's the hypocrisy for me. You know, like that's just kind of where I'm stuck at. It's like, even if a person is wrong, if a person meets it with hypocrisy in calling them out, it's like, it's the hypocrisy for me. So that's just my thing. Like, it's just the hypocrisy for me. So, I think that people are nitpicking at B. Simone. Again, not saying that people can't be offended by the word, because you can. But don't be a hypocrite. If you want to be offended, don't be a hypocrite. That's all I'm saying. You know, because I can't tell you what to be mad at, just like you can't tell me what to be mad at, but don't be a hypocrite about it. Period. That's just what it is. Oh shit. We got out. You dig?
Nick,
Come
Nick,
on.
how you doing?
What's up? You know,
I just got on here to I
I
just got
already
on
know
here to
you
say,
be. I gotta
no,
brace
no,
myself when I
no,
talk
you
about
don't
this
need.
topic and you come on, because I'm like, be
Now you don't
respectful,
have to brace
dig.
yourself because I'm on here just to say you a fair person. You check me for saying certain things, so
Yeah.
I'm a prime example that you keep it fair, and you be honest. That's why I fuck with you. But when it comes to the gay community, they need to know that they black before they gay. I'm seeing in the Black Lives Matter with all the rainbows and all that stuff. Keep your sexuality to the side when we dealing with black people. White people don't do that. Don't nobody do that but us in the gay community. But I just got on here just to say that you a fair person and you fair with everybody. And I just wanted to let the gay community know, keep their sexuality at home when we march and then we talking about Black lives.
All right. All right. Thank you for chiming in.
All right. Peace.
Okay. B. Sanders, your mic is muted. You gotta unmute the mic.
Yes, you know that word fish. Uh, when I was growing up, a man would call a woman fish, as a derogatory word or to put her down. So I agree with you. Don't, lady, sweetie, honey, nice. But to say the word, they know what they're saying and they know why they're saying it, but they're trying to pretend like, oh no, I don't mean that. We got a mind, we got common sense, and we got a mind. So a woman know what it means. So respect us if you want respect, which, I ain't got to do with that other side. Anyway, I'm just talking for women. Respect is due to a real woman. A 100% woman, respect is due, period.
All righty. Well, thank you for chiming in.
Thank you.
All right. Janella Rogers.
Yes, hi.
Hi, how are you?
All right. Yeah, I wanted to state something really quick. I agree with you with the hypocrisy thing. A lot of people on my Facebook page, they can't see it, the notification that I got from Facebook. Well, here's the hypocrisy thing that I had to go through Facebook. Um, I've had a white woman spit on me and call me a nigger and call the police on me and try to get me locked up because I got angry about it. And I almost got into a fight with her, but I found out she was on probation and ended up she getting in trouble anyway because she called the police and I told them that she was on probation. Anyway, besides the point, here's the issue with that I have with Facebook. My profile on Facebook
Is this related to
is
the topic?
basically got a warning because my son has a Caucasian baby mama, and she's not taking good care of the baby.
Mm-hmm.
I made a post using the white T word. And
What's
I'm not saying
the word?
white T like the other word for garbage. Okay. I posted, I said, oh my gosh, she ain't nothing but a
I'm lost. Are
trifling,
you talking about the
you know.
topic or is this
And
something
so
totally different?
I'm like, the Facebook owner got me on watch on my profile, and it's a notification that only I can see. And you guys, if y'all go on my page, y'all can't see it, but I can see it. And every
Okay,
day I
but
have to read that, like, cause I made that. Oh, she's just nothing but a trifling white such and such. I'm scared to say it on here because I don't know what YouTube might do. And so, and it's words that everybody else say all the time. We've been saying for decades, and they've been calling us the N word, the with the hard nigger. Okay, they've been saying that, but I'm in trouble with Facebook for saying the white garbage can't, garbage word. I can't say the
you're losing
whole
me a
word.
little bit because it's a bit off topic.
But no, but what I'm saying is like that's an example of hypocrisy. You got the owner of Facebook is a white man. Okay, you're mad at me for saying white garbage, garbage,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm all our lives we've been called niggers by you people, by his ancestors. So my thing is this: if you don't like me saying the poor white blank garbage word,
Mm-hmm.
stop
So basically, you
calling us niggers and spitting in our face.
your example of hypocrisy, but that it's kind of off topic. But I kind of get what you're saying. You're saying like
Right.
that's
So,
your
but and it works the same with the
hypocrisy.
LGBTQ. If you don't like certain words that we use, don't call us words that we don't like to be called either. So that's the point I'm making in that. But I just use what happened to me on Facebook as an example.
Oh, okay. All
Mm-hmm.
righty. Well, thank
All
you
right.
for coming in.
No problem.
All right. Is there anybody in the chat that is gay or trans who would like to call in? I definitely want to give somebody the floor that is in the community so that we can have a dialogue. The StreamYard link is in the chat. I know y'all on here. Okay, we all here, baby. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So, let's be on topic. I want to talk about B Simone comments. I want to talk about the hypocrisy within the community, and I want to talk about, why is it always bully rather than educate? So let's have this conversation. Let's talk about it. Click the link and let's talk. Because then, if I wrap it, then it'll be people who will be like, they act like it's a bullying thing. It's like, no, we just all trying to understand. We're all trying to have respect. Let's all have everybody's points of view. India, hey.
Hello. I actually agree with you 100%. I just feel like I hate to say, I have like a really close friend that's transsexual, but I do because it kind of sounds like how white people say I have a black friend.
Yeah.
But it's true. I really do have a bestie that's transsexual, has always called me fish or whatever. I'm like, what is that about and why fish? Because fish stinks. And they try to associate that with like having a stank cat or whatever. But I basically got drugged by the LGBTQIA plus, have to be specific or whatever, community last week because everything that was going on with Black Lives Matter, and it kind of like I didn't really 100% agree with the first caller, but I was just making a statement that legally being Black and being gay are two different things, and that's all I said. Like being Black, not that they can't coexist together, but legally they're two different things by law. So I just didn't understand why a lot of LGBTQ people were turning the Black Lives Matter march into gay rights march or a feminist march. And Next thing I know, I just start getting dragged, getting called names, all kind of stuff. And I'm like, hold on. I start getting called homophobic and all different kind of things. And I'm like, I don't understand. How are you any different from those who you say oppress you or talk about you? How are you any different when you're carrying along with that same type of rhetoric? It just doesn't make sense. And everybody's confused about it because, I mean, I ask my bestie all the time, like, what is this? What is that? I'm not transsexual or whatever. So I would know. So what's so wrong with having questions about it? I just feel like they're digging at B. Simone and they're just being assholes for real. Because I don't see nothing that was offensive that she said.
Right. Yeah. And I also had I also spoke about the LGBT community turning the Black Lives Matter situation into a separate thing. I believe it was my video on Mayor Fry. I talked about it. And my whole stance is if we're fighting for Black lives, before you are of your sexual preference, you're Black first. So if you're rolling in your car, an officer cannot tell if you like whatever you like. They see your Black skin, and that's what we're fighting for, the injustice of police brutality. So I very much did not agree with that either. I did not agree with turning the Black Lives Matter movement into a all Black Lives Matter. Like, I'm like, if you Black, you Black. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? So I didn't agree with it either. So I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. And then also too, though, like what she said,
progression of Black people. If you are gay, if you're straight, if you're trans, you're Black. We're fighting for us as a whole to move forward. And then once we do that, we'll find out that a lot of the things that we nitpick with each other about Black on Black, they like to say Black on Black crime as if they're not other white on white crime, Asian on Asian crime, as if that doesn't exist. Then we'll find out a lot of the things that we bicker about is things that the oppressor has put and instilled in us. So we need to jump over the hurdle of our oppressor first and jump over, into our very much equal space. And then we can come back and, talk about Black on Black crime, this and that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like each thing is an individual thing.
And a lot of these things exist within all these other communities too. I just feel like, I don't know, it's just a whole bunch of hypocrisy with that. And what the LGBTQ community doesn't realize, I mean, being Black, okay, regardless of however many laws that they pass for LGBTQ, it still does not compare to it doesn't equate, or it doesn't not equate. It doesn't I can't even think of the words I'm using for it, but it's not like you can use that type of privilege is what I'm saying, because it's discrimination within the LGBTQ community. There's racism within that also. And besides, whether they're passing these laws or not, they're still going to see you as in being Black. So you're still not going to be able to get the same rights as somebody that's white that's LGBTQ versus you being Black and being LGBTQ. So I would think that being Black would be an issue that you need to fix first, being that they're passing LGBTQ laws. But maybe I'm tripping, but I just don't understand why, if I have an opinion and my opinion differs from yours, then I'm automatically labeled as being homophobic. And that's not at all what I'm saying. So, and then also what B. Simone was making a point about that to me seems like nobody wants to talk about is there are a whole bunch of down low transsexual people or just gay people, period. And that's not fair. But if somebody speaks on it, then it's a problem and you're homophobic. Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand. But
all righty. Well, thank you for chiming in.
All righty. Thanks.
All right. Fruit. Oh, shoot. Sneeze it. I don't know what's going on. Fruits. Click off and come back on. I don't know what's going on with your.
But I.
Come back on. I don't know what happened. So I'll stay on a little while longer. I wanted somebody of the community to speak out. But you know, it is what it is. Those are my thoughts on the topic. I think that if you are offended, I feel like you have a right to be offended. But the moment that you are hypocritical in your offense is where I tune it out, and it's just, you know, don't make no sense. Here is Wiley. Now,
Hey.
Wiley, I seen you throwing shade at me again and doing all the bullshit again. Doing all the bullshit. That's what you doing. I knew you was gonna flip flop, and I knew you was gonna be with the bullshit. Anyways, hello. Hey,
No, listen, I'm here for it, but I just don't like, you know, you said about the fifth term, correct. But women were offended by that. But where's the people saying let's cancel trans women or gay people for saying that? So it's hypocritical. I also have a problem anytime a woman, a biological woman, say anything, they want to cancel her. But you can call women bees. Where's the cancel culture at? Where's the cancel culture when you call black women monkeys? Where is that energy? But when a black woman say anything tranny, I didn't think that was offensive term to today. So I guess I have an issue with that. And I also have an issue with certain human beings come out and say something negative, but they sat on the same platform with a black woman that said a lot of offensive terms. But it was okay because I was getting a corn with this woman. But now, oh, you need to be counseled. No, we got to keep that same energy. It shouldn't be the gay community can say what they want to say out their mouth. But when the straight community say we want to counsel them, but where is that counsel culture when we say the B word, when we say the F word? You even said it that you don't like the word fish, but they will still use the term. Oh, it's not like that. It's
no, they don't say it's not like that. They say I'm still using it, and so fuck how you feel.
Absolutely.
That's what they
so
say.
where
they
is
that? That's what it very much gives. Like, oh well, you don't like it, too bad, so sad. I don't give a fuck. Oh well, I'm still gonna call you it.
Right, they're still gonna use it. So where is that energy? I'm all about if you could give it, you should be able to take it. Last time I checked, Wendy Williams is a woman, a biological woman, but a trans woman can call her out her name, say that she a man. But if a woman's called this trans woman a man, oh, she got to be canceled. That's transphobic. But where's the energy when you call Wendy Williams a man? I mean, just where's the energy? I can dish it so I can take it. But certain people in the community feels as though, no, we need to get a pass. And that's not the case. That's all I have to say about it. Because I know people going to call me a flip-flopper. I'm an entertainer. I'm here for it.
You are very much a flip-flopper. And I don't like when you flip-flopping. Because I feel like, and I'm just going to say it, I feel like it's unnecessary. Like, you don't have to kiss no YouTuber's ass to give your opinion. But I feel like, you know, it's like, okay, I'm gonna kiss this person ass today, so I'm gonna diss that person. I'm gonna kiss this person ass today, so I'm gonna diss that person. It's like, Wiley, if you want to kiss somebody ass, you don't have to diss the next YouTuber.
No, it's not like that.
That's what you be doing. Like, if you in your bag where you wanna, you know, kiss Tasha K ass, and you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna diss Neek and I'm gonna bring up Storm. Or if you wanna diss, you know, whoever, it's like you can be a YouTuber without trying to bring other people in the bullshit. But you do have a point with this whole hypocrisy situation. It's hella hypocritical and it doesn't make sense. And you're right. You'll have a trans person who call a woman a man. Like, I had a post where there was transgender women. They're like, oh, you look like a man, because they were mad after the fish thing, and they're like, oh, I thought you was a man. And it's like, ain't like, oh, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay,
absolutely. But I will never stop being an entertainer. You're beautiful. I never changed against that. I was very consistent about your beauty. And another thing, I'm just an entertainer. I'm here for it. I really
it ain't entertainment, Wiley. It's certain things that are entertainment, and it's certain things that's just very much.
It's entertainment.
No, that's not entertainment. That's just
audience. They know you get what you get on the show. But I will say I support you, sister, and I don't think that you should have been counseled with your thoughts. Like, I think that you have a right to say what you want to say, just like I have a right. I just feel as though me as the gay community, we weaponize that counsel culture because, you know, oh, she said the F word, she needs to be counseled. But it's like
got the background playing.
Is that sweet? Who's that?
Sweets.
Hey, Neek.
Hi.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, you
Oh,
gotta
no,
just
I
jump
wanted to
right
tell
on
you that
in.
I agree with. Oh, okay, I'm jump right on in. I agree with you. I agree with you, and I agree with Wally. It's hypocrisy for the trans community to be in an uproar about B. Simone, but they had an issue with us as women, us as heterosexual women having an issue with them calling us or labeling us as fish. We're not fish. We're biological women. You are men trying to be women. Okay, so let's get that very, very, very clear. Okay, so that whole Maddie and the other one, Sydney Stark for number one, she, she, whatever, tricked Chingy or went on this whole thing and said that she slept with Chingy, ruined this man's career, for the longest, and then now want to come back and say, oh, what she said was a lie. Okay, T.S. Madison, 1 minute she want to be a woman, 1 minute she want to be a man, or whatever the case may be. She tell you she got a penis or whatever, like, please. It was nothing wrong with what B. Simone said. It is what it is. And when you go Google the definition of tranny, it tells you transvestite, transsexual, transgender. That's what tranny tells you. Okay? It doesn't tell you anything else. It tells you transsexual, transvestite, transgender. Okay? These people in the LGBT and the transgender and they want so much rights, but they don't want to give certain respect to women. They want to take away everything that emulates a woman and take away everything and tear down everything that it is about being a woman, and they don't want to give credit to women. For one, they should not be able to change their birth certificate. There's no way that should be legal. You can't walk around with an STD, giving somebody an STD. You should not be able to walk around and was born a boy and your birth certificate is now saying that you was a female. That should not happen. You should not be able to walk around and emulate a woman and trick somebody into thinking that you're a woman, and then you lie to them and tell them that you're a woman after you have taken it to the next step or the next level, or even a kiss. A kiss is too much. That's too far for you to go because you're taking away a person's rights to choose. And let's be very clear. A lot of these transgenders go after straight men. A lot of these transgender, it thrills them to trick straight men into thinking that they are a woman because it makes them feel good that a man really sees them as being a woman. Okay, so that's why they call them trade. Okay, because a lot of them go for straight men. Let's be very clear on that. So miss me with the BS.
Chime in.
To correct you, trade that's not the definition of trade. Trade really comes from paying guys for sexual favors. That's where trade comes from. So I'll go ahead and correct you on that. But good day, everyone. Good afternoon. Hey, Nick, boo boo. Thanks for having me, boo. To what you said, I agree with what you're saying. With the hypocrisy of it all, I agree with it. I agree with, and I agree with that because I believe that there's hypocrisy in everything. I believe that we are, you, me, I don't know you guys, but I believe if you was to look in our lives, you can always find some hypocrisy from the way that we live our lives versus the way that we say that we live our lives. You always find some hypocrisy there. That's not taken away from what you're saying. I just wanted to put that out there, that even me, myself, I feel like I'm a hypocrite sometimes because I grow every day. So it disproves some shit that I thought was good or that I knew yesterday because I'm steady growing, you see. But so I can agree with that. There's hypocrisy in the gay community.
Yeah, so I'll stop you for a second. And it's like, okay, have we done things that are hypocritical? Yes, we can all agree on that. And like you said, people have done things that are hypocritical. You say you ain't fucking with the nigga, and then you clown a girl for going back with a nigga that she fucked with that she shouldn't fuck with. We get it.
Right.
We have. But when it comes to the LGBT community, it takes hypocrisy to a whole new level, I think. And it's like a blatant disrespect within the hypocrisy. So I want to know, what do you think about that aspect of it, because I feel like there is hypocrisy to where, you know, it's like, okay, it's not really like I didn't mean to be a hypocrite, but damn, you know, the deal was good and I went back and I did clown old girl last week for fucking with a nigga she didn't have fuck with. You know what I'm saying? You experience it, so then you kind of become a hypocrite in that regard. But
Right.
I think this is comparable to that. Because like say, you know, like I'll give you an example. Before I had kids, I used to think that the parent shaped the child 100%. It's your child. If your child is bad, you're a bad parent. And I thought that why this person can't control their damn kids. This is your kids. You should be able to do that. Then when I became a parent, I realized kids are born with their own mind, their own identity. You can teach them and you can instill in them and you can give them you know, your morals, your values, you can give them discipline, but at the end of the day, they are their own human beings. So sometimes it takes you to go through something to relate.
Right.
This, however, is not comparable to hypocrisy in that regard. I feel like that's something different. Like if you say, oh, I'm never gonna mess with a guy and cheat on me because you never experienced it, and then you mess with a guy that cheat on you, like, damn, well, I thought that I never would. So am I a hypocrite? Yes. But I don't think that that is comparable to this. I think that that is a totally different, like this is blatant, like, I don't want you to call me that, but oh, well, I'm gonna call you that. Like that's very much what this is. So it's like, although, yes, we have done hypocritical things, I don't think that we can compare that. So
Well, I get what you're saying. I understand it fully, and I agree mostly. And but it's similar.
in the chat, by the way, you guys. If anybody else wants to call in, do you think I wanted more people of the community to more than anything? But go ahead.
To me, I just believe being a hypocrite is being a hypocrite. When we talk about, I've noticed in the Black community, when we talk about things, because we could find holes in some of everything based upon how we live our lives, someone will always be able to check us on something, if you will. Do you see what I'm saying? We don't live our lives as a group. So when people say things like, oh, the law says this, and, you know, science says this, but, you know, we only say those things, you know, when it's convenient for us. Any other times it's fuck the law and fuck that science. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit. You know, someone said earlier it was legal by law, X, Y, and Z. Well, it was also legal by law that motherfuckers couldn't live in certain states. And it's also legal by law that it's illegal. It's illegal to masturbate in certain states. It's illegal for anal sex in certain states. It's illegal for some of any type of thing in certain states. So we like to bring up law when it's convenient for us.
We talking about the blatant hypocrisy, the blatant. I don't want you to call me this word, but I'm going to still call you things that you don't want to be called.
No, I get it. I understand. I'm saying I agree with you. If you don't want to be called something, no one should be calling you anything. Do you understand? We shouldn't be calling you things. That goes without being said on either or whoever it is. If you don't want to be called a certain thing, no one should call you that. You know, that's goes.
Only said tranny. Like they act like she said something that was wrong. She said you got to be careful on that app because some trans women will be on there. Blah blah blah. It wasn't that bad. Only issue that B. Simone should have been counseled on is plagiarizing somebody else's work. But in this instance, it wasn't that bad at all. I'm not going to counsel her because I say some problematic things about Black women. So Black women should be able to say what they want to say to the gay community. When the gay community called Black women B's, H's, fish, the list goes on and on. So I'm like, if you're big and bold enough to say that about a Black woman, that Black woman should in return to be able to say what she wants to say.
Okay, so
where's the proof for Black women? Where do we do when we counsel when Black women are being called B words and H's on the regular?
Can I just say that?
Hold on, wait 1 second, Kenneth. Those of you in the chat who want to be a part of the conversation, anytime you see my name in the chat with this link, you click the link, and that's how you become a part of the conversation. Go ahead, Kenneth.
Can I just say that gay people and Black gay people are typically, when it comes down to women, we kind of champion more so than heterosexual men champion for women. We typically get involved when we see someone getting their ass whooped by a girl. You know what I'm saying? A straight dude ain't gonna get involved in that because that ain't none of his business. But that's our home girl. You know what I'm saying? There's typically a camaraderie between the straight woman and the gay man. So people like to put them against each other, but the gay people are really they really champion for the straight woman. They really be out here on some shit like, these rappers need to stop calling y'all bitches and hoes. These rappers need to stop abusing y'all. These rappers need to stop, these men need to stand up and take care of their children. These men need to stop whooping y'all ass. These men, like, we hold these men to the fire for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, because we can't birth no kids. You know what I'm saying? We doing this for y'all. I ain't getting married no motherfucker. Black dudes, we ain't really getting married to men like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we ain't helping these men be good men.
Call this person on the spot. Hold on, wait. I'm trying to call Ariel.
But
go ahead.
So what I'm saying is, like, we try to help them become like better people too and stop disrespecting y'all. So it's like, if we see y'all refer to each other as hoes, and that's not how we got songs with hoes and shit. That's my bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand, like, how that's glorified, but we can't say something. And then when we like to say, the dude earlier said that you're Black first. People have, and another thing with niggas, number one, it hasn't been scientifically proven that you're Black first.
I think you're going off of you. Wait, what? The fuck?
No, it hasn't been scientifically proven. We don't know that you're Black. When I'm saying,
you Black.
I know I'm Black. I love my Black. I wear black.
A boy or a girl, you Black.
No, I fuck with the Black shit. I wear black. I wear black drawers. I wear black. Like, I'm Black. I fuck with it. But listen.
If your parents is Black, you Black.
So I know, but let me just make this point.
Before you even, when you are a little bitty nut seed,
I
you
get it.
Black.
But that's what y'all say. But I know, but that's what y'all say. But we listen to y'all. But listen though, boo. Listen. Let me get my point. My point is that I know we Black. Everything is Black with Black. Family comes, Black Panther family, Black. I have it Black. But what I'm saying is, when I'm walking through Harlem, across the street from the Apollo, looking like this, with these mannerisms, a Black dude, I should shoot your ass right now for walking in my neighborhood. If I'm Black first, we always like to say we're Black first. 2 Thanksgivings ago, I got jumped by 3 Black dudes minding my business. But I'm Black first. I'm not knocking the Blackness. I'm not knocking the Blackness. But what I'm saying is, it's hypocritical. It's hypocritical to say. It's hypocritical to be convenient and to say you're Black first, and then don't treat people like they're Black first.
We're saying
treat people like they're Black first, and you're not even listening to me about my experience.
I got the calm down. Wait a minute.
I can't hear Nick. I can't hear you. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Calm down, Kenneth. I'm gonna add you back. Relax.
I can hear everybody except me.
When we say we're Black first, we're talking in regards to a white person who is giving you these like they're using their white privilege and they're trying to oppress you, and they're not looking at the fact of your sexual preference. When we're talking about these police officers, when you're driving in the car and they pull you over, they're not looking at, oh, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? They're looking and they see black first. That's what we're talking about, black first, when we're talking about fighting against white supremacy. You're black first fighting against white supremacy. What I hate that we do is we always mix in shit that don't got nothing to do with it. Okay, well, if you care about police killing cops, why don't you care about this? That's two totally different things. Let's not confuse the two, because just as well as there are attacks on fellow black people, a black person can attack another black person. It's the same thing as a white person can attack another white person. So we have to understand that when we say you're against white supremacy, because ethnicity,
turn your thing down. She's talking.
I don't know if it's Sweets or whoever. So when we say you're black first, that's what we're talking about. So now I'll add Kenneth back. I'm gonna add Divine. Did you click off or was that somebody else? I don't know. You're black first. That's what we're talking about.
I'm gonna jump in. I've been hold on, let me jump in for a moment. First of all,
wait, somebody got background noise.
First of all,
somebody's
echoing. Someone has. Okay. So here's the problem with us, especially Black Americans. White supremacy, you don't have to be white to have a white supremacist ideology, because it's an ideology. A lot of us, especially being here in America, because we didn't have any customs, we didn't have anything when we arrived here. Some of us have the white supremacy ideology that is locked into us. And when I say that, Kenneth, I know I see where you're coming from, but that talking point is something that the right usually does. And it's kind of like one of these white supremacist kind of talking points to make the black on black crime thing is basically what it is.
And then also, it makes it appear that these same things don't happen to heterosexual men as well. Like, there are people who literally are not a part of a gang. They'll walk in a neighborhood, they'll be black as well, and it'll be another black man who will jump them or harass them. So that's the thing that I don't like when it's these things that they act like, okay, because I'm gay, this happened to me. But it's like those same things happen to straight men as well. You know what I'm saying?
I will say this: it happens more to cisgender women. And by the way, cisgender is a scientific word. It's not a slur. It's a scientific. A lot of people need a real.
Divine, I think
one at a time. One at a time.
Divine, I think you're echoing. He has to come back on because I think he's echoing.
The word cisgender, it's in a biology book, so it's not like the word fish or anything like that. It's a scientific word. Okay, so we got that. But it does happen to us women, period, more often than it does men. Here's an example. We get catcalled. Right. If you recall going to the club, getting grabbed on, getting touched, or if you want to deny someone your phone number, you're going to be a bitch or a hoe or a skank. And so I think that's the identification that we as, it doesn't matter, I don't care if you're a trans woman or a cisgender woman, it happens to us women, period, of harassment. And that's something that we actually really need to be talking about more.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is, just as well as somebody of the LGBT community gets harassed, women get harassed as well too. That's basically what you're saying. Okay.
I mean, come on. We've all, as women and what have we, we've all been there at a bar or at a club, and you've had an unwanted touch, or even just walking down the street. Even some of my trans girlfriends, same thing. And by the way, this whole notion about being tricked, there are a lot of brothers that call themselves straight that actually pursue transgender women. Okay, the trickery thing again. That's a little bit of a little white supremacist that they like to slide into, because white supremacy is the one that causes the majority of the hate, and that is also included within our own community and the LGBT, Black LGBT, because there's a whole different. In
All right.
the white LGBT
So I'm
is
gonna
different.
jump in and I'm gonna let Queen Key go ahead.
Queen K. Does
Queen
my
K.
sound?
I don't know why the hell I say that. Go ahead.
It's okay.
Okay.
I just have a quick, comment. I believe the beginning of this, the way this conversation started, basically missed the major point of when we get into the T.S. Madison and all that. The trans community, their direct issue when anything is brought up automatically comes back to it's the Black woman's fault. There are tons of men that use tranny. Men use those words all the time. You do not see the outrage to the men. It's our fault as a woman because of your feelings. Why do we always have to carry everybody else's feelings on our shoulders? It's not our fault because of the decisions you're making. It's not our fault because we don't know what to say. We don't blame our decisions on you. And I just feel like as a Black woman, we need our brothers, whether you're tranny, straight, I don't care what you're doing, who you sleep with, or what you want to do. Open your eyes a little bit and actually see that it's always the Black woman's fault. And I'm really, really getting tired of that. It's not, what she said was not even like outwardly, like, it was like she was like going all in. I've heard men on many platforms go in on chicks with D's or calling them trannies and stuff like that. And I have not seen any T.S. Madison videos or any other transsexuals coming out against those men saying, we are offended, do better. Why, as the women, are we responsible for your feelings when you're not responsible for ours? It's not right.
Okay, so
She actually has before. She actually has talked about men, and especially when she used to walk the streets and prostitute. She talked about many times about how she got abused by men and how she was with a guy, and then the next day, he
Yes,
dismissed
Latoya,
her.
I know that. I know that.
But
My
let's not
point is that she's
generalize, though.
taking out, wait, my point is that we get the brunt of it though. Take that out on them. That's
No,
not, we didn't do that to you.
I'm lost because I started doing something else, so I'm like, what is we talking
I'm
about?
honestly lost too, and I've been paying
I don't
attention.
even know. I don't know what's going on with
What I was saying, is pretty simple. What I was saying is that I feel like transsexuals and other gay men take out their hurt directly on Black women. Our hurt.
Gay men and transgender are two different communities.
Latoya, I understand that, and I'm making my point just like
Black
you made
women do the
yours.
same thing to each other.
Okay, and exactly. It's just like saying when a racist says there's Black on Black crime in Chicago. So that's basically what you just told me.
Right, and then
so anyway,
told me that.
So anyway, like everybody had a chance to say their point. I waited patiently, and I'm just saying my point. I feel. And also, I want to say shout out to Neek and Wiley. I love both of you guys. I follow you guys. You guys are amazing. I just wanted to say that I feel like the hurt and pain of the Black woman community always ends up coming back on the Black woman. Where it's our fault for what happens with the kids. It's our fault because of this. It's our fault because of that.
Right. You're right. You're right. But I want you guys to
compartmentalize.
Yeah, that word. Like put your anger where channel your anger where it's supposed to be. We like to say, well, channel your anger where don't just go burning up your shit, go channel your anger, well, channel your motherfucking anger. Because there's more of us rooting for you than we are not.
That's fact.
Kenneth, I agree with you. What I'm saying, when there's outrage, but when there's outrage in the community, it directly comes to us, though.
Can I finish? Okay. So we're talking about B. Simone, who is in the public eye. And we all know that anytime someone does something that's big or small, and they're in the public eye, everyone has an opinion about it. Okay. So we're just not talking about Keisha Johnson from down the street. Okay. We talking about B. Simone, you know, that we all know and some of us love, some of us hate.
Yes.
So that's
She's
that.
a great writer.
She is.
So they say. But
that was funny. That was funny.
But my point is that yes, women, I said from the beginning, women do get treated, Black women get treated horribly.
Yes.
By everyone, in you know, and fat Black women get treated worse than non-fat Black. I mean, we could just break it down bit by bit.
Right.
And
Kenneth, that's
no
where,
matter how you slice
that's
it,
where I'm coming from. I'm
and
not
I
coming.
get it.
That's all where I'm coming from. It's
my
like
thing is-
Black women can't be the brunt of everybody's problems in,
Okay,
in
so
the
I get what
community.
you mean by Black women don't be the brunt, whatever. How does that correlate to this topic though? Because maybe I missed something.
Because what I was saying is that there's been a lot of people that have been on radio platforms and used the word tranny. A lot. But because she said it, and the fact that, like you said, Neek, she was like literally trying to find out right there, is this right? She was figuring it out in the process that she gets that backlash is totally unwarranted.
Right. And that came out is shooting at her. So it's not, no one is blaming Black women in a totality. So this
Right.
But you guys, if you watch T.S. Madison's, yes, she does. She does it a lot. She does it a lot though. I'm talking about sort of like T.S. Madison though a little bit too, because she does. I used to watch her and she does directly blame a lot of Black women for stuff. Well, y'all don't like me, I don't like y'all. Like she does do that a lot.
Okay, so I ain't here to put nobody on trial.
But I think I understand what you're saying, Queen K.
Thank you.
Queen K, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Thank you. That was basically my point.
Right.
Yeah, and don't come out.
Yeah, because I understand what you're saying, because just as a woman has to cop for everything. Everything a man do, whether they're gay, straight, or trans, a woman has to cop for. A woman has to feel sympathy or empathy for, but nobody is feeling sympathy or empathy for the woman. Because just like
don't say that.
There's things that happen to trans, and there's things that happen to
empathy for you.
There's things. Hold on. Let me finish, Kenneth. There's things that happen to women every day. Women are raped, robbed, kicked, beat, stabbed, cut, murdered, everything. But the moment a transgender is murdered, the moment a transgender is a trans woman is beat, then it's a whole outrage. But what happened to the outrage where women are getting beat, raped, killed, steal, robbed, beat up, murdered every day? Where's the outrage for that? But it becomes an issue and an outrage when something happens to a trans person, even a gay man, like with the incident that happened with Saucy
Sweets. Yeah,
where he was in a nightclub, where he was trying to make it seem like as if it was. We can agree to disagree. I mean, your opinion is your opinion. My opinion is my opinion.
Right. I know that's the definition of opinion. But I also feel our bodies. It doesn't matter if you're trans or a cisgender woman. Black women bodies, period, aren't reported. You know, it takes, and the thing, if you're talking about the transgender stories, a lot of that is under the rug. It's not reported. It's until someone in that community that is a friend of a friend, that's how those stories come out. Okay, so
but it's the same thing that happened with crimes every day. If we didn't see George Floyd's video, if there was no video of the George Floyd being murdered, okay, then we would not have an outrage.
What does it have to do with black people?
We have Sandra Bland.
No, I'm just stating. But what I'm stating is that until it makes mainstream media, we don't know about it, because there's things that happen in our cities, in our communities every day where people are getting. Okay.
That's Black women in general.
And I'm saying that same thing.
Wait a second, Sweets. I'll bring you guys back. Just hold on 1 second. I rock the new who had came on, and Stevie's next wife. So
Neek, I'm gonna drop off. Thank you very much for letting me speak.
Who is
Bye,
that?
Queen K.
Queen K. Thank you. Bye, Kenneth. Bye, Wiley.
Go ahead. I rock the new.
All right, what's up? So this is talking about the B Simone thing, right? What she said, right, with the training
Yeah.
shit, right?
Yeah.
All right, so like the whole thing is it's not like what you say, it's how you say it. And like when I heard the clip of her talking on the podcast or whatever like that, and it was just like you could tell when somebody's saying something just genuinely, or like when they put like a little shade in it. When she said the train thing, all right, we could say whether the train thing was whatever, but then she followed up with the LGBT lettuce bacon to make whatever, like, and that's what I think what got everybody upset is like
Yeah, but
how
I think
she
that goes in line with her trying to be funny. Like, I think that's the same thing as Dave Chappelle saying alphabet community. I feel like that was kind of like, like, trying to be a comedian, trying to be funny, and saying
yeah, but then she
alphabet
put
lettuce bacon.
then it's like, but then she threw out the oh yeah, because I have a best, my friend is a trainee, and my friend is gay, and and that's the number one when it's a racist person. What's the first thing they say? Oh, I have a black friend. My best friend is black, and I have friends that's black, but it's like that's just what you say to try to cover up the little jab that you try to throw in there. Like I think that she was trying to throw a jab.
Yeah, but I think that also is something like I covered that on. I think that derived from, and she may have said it around the time that this came out, but there was actually a lettuce bacon and thing that I shared on my channel. I shared it in my community feed. It was the LGBT sandwich. So I really don't think that. I feel like it was the same thing. It was like this trying to be funny and playing off of this. Actually, if we're gonna be completely honest about it, like
but like I said, the tone, people, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. What I got from it, the vibe I got from it is like she was like sometimes girls, women, whatever, black women, white women, whatever, they have like some type of, they'll be cool with gay people and stuff like that, but in the back of their mind they have like some type of this like nasty taste in their mouth when it comes to like gay trans stuff or whatever, or people, especially when it's like a straight man. If they look and see a straight somebody that they would mess with or whatever like that, and then they see that they would mess with another man or a trans or whatever like that, like they feel some type of way about that. Like they get a little jealous a little bit or whatever. Maybe be small. She don't got no man because she, picky 9 to 5 or whatever. She was an entrepreneur, but like,
can we admit that goes both ways? I feel like a lot of gay men are not honest in that regard, and I don't think that a lot of somebody is ruffling something. Oh, we gotta get the background noise out of there. Who is it? Is it Kenneth?
Yeah,
everybody mute your
like
phone, not talking. Okay. So what I want to say is, and it's you, because you're the only one whose mic is. So it's I rock and it's you that with the background noise. You gotta cut off your background noise. Is your phone on something?
No, because you don't have his headphones. You don't have your headphones to make those crickets now.
Hold on. All right, that's better.
Let's see. Yeah, okay. So I think that it's still there, but so I'm gonna just pause you and then I'll unpause you when it's time for you to talk. I think that gay men are not honest and women are not honest when it comes to competing with one another. I think that gay men compete with women, and I feel like I understand where you're coming from as far as a heterosexual woman might feel slighted if it's somebody that they deem attractive dealing with another gay man. I feel like neither side is completely being honest in that regard. I think that just as well as how you say like they'll have people who they're friends with that are gay, but then when they talk with this tone. I feel like the same could be said for a lot of gay men. Like, they'll have women who is, they're cool with, they'll have predominantly large female audience, but then when they get to talking about women, you kind of hear that tone. It's like, well, you really don't fuck with us like that, really. I feel like it kind of goes both ways, and I feel like until we are honest about it, I feel like we cannot move forward past it, and until we can both be honest and say, because very much I see a lot of gay men with the rhetoric of, oh, bitch, I take your man, bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's just these unspoken type of competitions or feeling slighted in a way. And I feel like until we're honest about it, I feel like a lot of people are not honest about it. Until we are honest about it, then we can't go forward, because it'll be the same person. Like, they'll say, oh, black women don't like gay men, but then they're spewing all of this hate towards black women, but then they're doing what they claim black women are doing to them to black women. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like we kind of gotta, I don't know, but go ahead. I'll let you respond.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. Like, for me personally, I love black women. Like, I don't have like a competition. I think like it's two different lanes, so it's like no need for like competition between like the gays, trans. I can't speak on trans because I'm not trans, but I know with gay men and black women, like black women would be like my best friends or whatever would be black women or whatever. Like, I think when you put all the differences aside, black gays and women work together good. Like, you see mostly like the popular B Simone, I'm sure she got gay friends that do her makeup, that do her hair, make her look glammed up and stuff like that. Like, we're good. I don't know. Like, it's sometimes like with women, you it's two different types of women. Some women, they'll be around gay people and stuff like that for beneficial reasons. Like I said, they'll use them to do their hair, makeup when it's time to get cute, dress up and stuff like that. Then it's okay. But then it's like, certain things is like, oh, hold up, that's too much. Like, when it comes to, like I said, them messing with somebody that they feel like, if it's too, like I said, feminine men, they won't care because it's like, oh, they look at that. But when it's like a masculine man or somebody that they would see themselves with, I'm telling you, that's when the problems come out. That's when the little slip words, the tranny words come out, the LGBT, LT, bacon, lettuce, tomatoes, all that stuff come out. It's a whole different ball game when it just comes down to when a woman feels like in that insecurity or whatever within them, and they like lash out or whatever. Like I said, when you are like secure and stuff like that, you shouldn't care really about what the next person is doing. If like this one with the thing, if there's a lot of gay people in Atlanta or whatever.
I'm gonna pause you for 1 second. To get Stevie next wife, go ahead and chime in.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Is this the woman who was on last time that was saying you was Stevie J wife?
Yeah, that mother effer's wife. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I just had a few points to make based on some of the things that were said today. But the main point is, you guys are forgetting that there is freedom of speech, right? So people are always going to say whatever they want. So if these gay men or trans men are going to be okay with calling women fish, then they should be okay with people calling them tranny. They shouldn't get as offended.
Okay.
Okay, and then my next point was to Latoya, who was adamant on calling all of us cis, or most of us cis people or cis women in the chat. Also, in scientific book or literature, there is words for mulatto people that they refer to them as quadroons. I'm not going to walk around and call mixed people quadroons, as I would think that they might find it offensive. So I don't know why this whole cis thing is becoming a thing now. Why can't we just be women, men, or whatever else you want to be called? Why do we have to be forcefully put into some type of category when we know what we are and we're okay with what we are?
Okay, let me hear from Fruits. Fruits.
I hear that. Okay.
I don't think it's funny either. I think it's true.
So what I wanted to address was, as we know, June is Pride Month, right? So
they are being messy.
Pride, they were experiencing police brutality. So Pride wasn't just a celebration; it was actually a protest. It was actually Black trans individuals that were being killed and treated unfairly by the police. And the reason why Pride began was the protest and not necessarily, Pride. So I understand why individuals, the LGBTQ, so on.
Your sound is going in and out.
Community are all lives matter, experiencing police trans individuals that were experiencing police brutality. Now, let me continue. The cisgender.
It didn't have.
I don't think that's an issue either.
It didn't have anything. The trans that they were talking about, it had nothing to do with police brutality at all. It had nothing to do with police at all.
I think what she's saying,
it had to do with a trans woman losing her life, and they were like, okay, let's advocate for this on the same scale that we advocate for police brutality, but it didn't have anything to do with them being involved with.
Yes.
Right. So I can attest to what she's saying, that's how it started. And just like how whatever things that we start, and for people to say I'm a mulatto, boo, all my people are all the way Black, boo. But any of the ways, for things that we start, they always co-opt. They always get involved and co-opt.
Who's they?
White folks, boo. White folks. White folks. White folks get involved, okay? And they get involved and they co-opt everything. They created all these terminology, cis and all this shit. Black folks don't got no power in no damn gay community. It's the same damn discrimination that straight folks face. They don't fuck with us. It's the same thing. They're creating these cisgendered and shit. So Black folks need to understand that ain't no Black person in no office signing cisgender in law. All right, stamp the shit. That ain't us, dude. It's them creating shit, and it causes more division, of course. But that's what I'm saying about.
Yeah,
but you guys are the ones using it, though.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
We don't say that shit. Don't nobody I know say.
I just heard cisgender like 55 times in this little thing right here.
Well, my producers said they don't like the term cisgender, so I'm gonna just say
I don't say it.
They don't like the term. I tried to be politically correct, and I was roasted for that. So I'm just gonna call them women.
Thank you. As we are.
Women. My mother didn't like the cisgender. She thought it was something offensive.
I think it's stupid.
So
I think it's stupid. I think it's all divisive, and it all draws more confusion, and that's what they do. They bring about more confusion to when you divide us and confuse us, we're just walking around like zombies, like fighting one another, and we're just confused. It's confusing people. I get it, but that ain't us, boo. That ain't us.
All right. I'm gonna take off Wiley. I'm gonna take off Kenneth. I'm gonna bring on India, and I'm gonna bring on Divine, and somebody got. I'm not gonna Divine. I don't know who's echoing, but the echo just messed it up.
Can you hear me? Am I lying at all?
Whoa! Wow, that was strong.
Yeah, something's going on with it. All right, I don't know. Okay, India, I guess we'll close on what did you want to say, and then we'll wrap.
I just don't. I think it's just ridiculous that for one, like the situation with T.S. Madison, like
better.
if I'm not mistaken, wasn't T.S. Madison on the Queen's Court with
Yeah.
Oh, she hung up. I
her
don't know.
rhetoric? Y'all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, majority of what took place on Queen's Court, I mean, I didn't watch it all the time, but the stuff that made that went viral or whatever was Kaya and T.S. Madison going in on women. So, and they have a lot to say. And I just feel like the hypocrisy of that is just ridiculous. And I also feel like that whole thing, like with the cisgender thing, I feel like that's just trying to just cause everyone confusion just for I don't know, to try to push an agenda, because I don't understand what's so
it is
wrong with
pushing an
saying
agenda
women.
to add
Yeah.
us. To add us into their different alphabets. They want to categorize us. We don't need to be categorized like that. We already know what we are. We already know that there's
Right.
male,
And that can
female.
be offensive
We're
because
not
me being
questioning it
considered
at all.
cisgender is like offensive. So I don't understand.
If your
Like,
community wants to be referred to as different things, where you guys have a wide spectrum, that's fine. But we're okay keeping the same categories we've had for centuries now. We're okay with that. We're not arguing it. We're not arguing for it. We're okay keeping male and female still there and keeping it used in the same way.
exactly. And it's just a lot of hypocrisy.
All right.
Can I say one last thing? One last thing, please, please, please. I just don't understand why this whole LGBTQ community thing has jumped on and is mad at Black Lives Matter. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I think they want the same push. Like, like they want everyone to go as hard as you do for this to go as hard for that. I think that's kind of what it stems from.
Because I feel like if you are a Black trans or Black gay or bi person, you automatically fall under the representation of Black Lives Matter. They are automatically fighting for you because you are Black.
Right.
I don't understand.
I think that kind of happened because of what I think that the reason how come a lot of that came face is because of what happened with it was someone that was like during a march or something that a whole bunch of mob of men jumped on this trans woman, and I noticed that after that, they didn't say what happened before or why it happened. I don't know. Maybe I missed that part, but I think that is why a lot of they tried to shift that whole thing into like Black men or the Black community hate the LGBTQ community. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there is a whole bunch of issues within every community about the LGBTQ community.
About the story of the transgender woman who hit somebody's car and then tried to fight a girl, but then when that person was trying to fight a woman, it was no problem.
Yes, Jamar.
When men, it's just a
so that's what happened. So a bunch of
it was more stuff than that though. It was
but I figured that because I was wondering why they didn't make that part known. They kind of just put it out there. And I was just confused as of like, why would they just put that out there and not say like what led to that from the beginning? I don't know. It just kind of came late. And
it
then
came
next
out
thing
of
I know, they took over and was like, this LGBTQ.
If tell you the true story, then it would fuck up the narrative. So that's
right.
What that is. But I'm gonna wrap this there. I'm got to go and do some stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Neek, look at Wiley video title. What Wiley? What? Let me bring him. What the hell you done did?
Nothing. It's nothing. Oh, I love.
Look at Wiley video title.
Wiley shady.
We gonna rap and let's see what he done.
No, and I have nothing. All right.
Thank you so much, Nee. Much appreciated.
I love
Yes, Madison calls out Lovely T, Neek at night. Still upset about the fish term.
Messy.
No. One of our producers put that together. So
all your producers.
Yeah. A hot mess.
Messy.
Anyway.
I love you, B. I'll come see you
Messy.
next month. So me and you.
Go and do your show, Wiley.
Go, Messy Wiley.
Bye. But anyways, thank you all for tuning in. I want to thank everybody who was a part of the conversation. I know that it's going to be a lot more people who are vocal in the chat. Because this ended up being so long, I'm going to retitle this "The Hypocrisy Within the LGBT Community on Terms That They Don't Like." And then I'm going to remove the part where I'm talking about B. Simone and then make that separate since this came so long. So those of you who are on live, you will see a re-upload of the beginning part of this being separate because this kind of has formed into its own thing, and I still want that to be that, whatever. So with that being said, we are out. On that note, I don't like the hypocrisy. I don't like when transgender women want to tell you what they don't want you to call them, but then want to disrespect you and call you shit that you tell them that you don't want to be called. I don't care who feel a way about it. People try to flip my fish topic into a negative one when it came to the incident where I end up having words with T.S. Madison. People try to flip a very innocent dialogue, because all I was doing was having a innocent dialogue about a word that I found offensive, and I invited a trans woman to talk. I had several trans women on the panel. I had several LGBT people on the panel. I had several people so that I can get everyone's opinion while expressing a term that I did not like. But people flip shit, they flip narratives. So by the time that it hit the internet, everybody had turned it into a woman versus trans thing. And then it was oh, you know, you can't call me this, but I could disrespect you and call you that. And it's like that's kind of not how it works over here. So, you know, people even started trying to bully me when it came to the fish thing. And I'm like, first of all, for the previous 6 months before I had did that video, I had been doing open panel discussions on my channel. I always had every sexual preference. When I talk about LGBT, I invite LGBT to talk because I can't speak for you. So I always get a voice and I always make it fair. It's always a fair discussion, but people will flip it and be hypocritical with the whole, you can't say this, but I can say that. You can't disrespect me, but I could disrespect you. I think it's bogus. I think it's hypocritical, and I think it's hypocrisy. And everybody who tried to flip my fish dialogue, oh my gosh, she's crying about this. It is not about crying about anything. It's about being frustrated that motherfuckers is flipping a narrative on you. If I'm having an honest conversation and I mean no malice by it, and you flip my conversation and you come at me disrespectful, but you don't come at men will drag you for filth. They'll drag you for filth, disrespect you, call you every name out the book, come at you sideways, forwards, frontwards, and backwards, and you say nothing. And then when I have a honest, fair, open dialogue, and then you flip my narrative and you flip it and twist it and you try to turn people in the LGBT community against me, you're damn right I'm gonna feel away and I'm gonna get mad and I'm gonna be in my feelings and I'm gonna be frustrated about it, because if somebody flips some shit on you, you will feel away too. So with that being said, I'm tired of the hypocrisy. I think it's bogus. I think it's bogus to say, I don't want you to call me this, but then you hear people saying words that they don't want to be called, and you say, too bad, so sad, we've been using it. Well, too bad, so sad, people been using tranny, and although I don't use it, I feel like the people who choose to use it have the right to say, too bad, so fucking sad, I've been using it since forever, the same way that you say, too bad, so sad, I've been using fish forever and don't give a fuck. So if you don't care that we voice our opinions on things that we don't want to be called, because it was a long time ago, the same thing I feel like goes with tranny. That word has been used a long time ago. So if you want to be a person who is offended by that, I feel like you don't have a right to try to call somebody out if you are in turn disrespecting people with things that they don't want to be called. That's period, point blank. If you want respect, give respect. If you don't want to be called a word, don't call people words that they don't want to be called. I don't care how long you used it. I don't care how long you've been calling people fish. Just like you don't care how long people been using the word tranny. If people use the word tranny, they've been using it for a long time. You don't care. You want them to stop talking about it. So stop talking about shit that we don't want to be talked about or called, period. Give respect to get respect. Again, this is not me saying that people can't be offended. You have every right to be offended by what you're offended by. If you are a transgender woman and the word tranny offends you, you have every right to be offended by it. Because if you make it known and you say, listen, I don't like that word, it's offensive, then I feel like people should respect that. But if you do not respect others, then I feel like people have the right to not respect you. Because it's just like, that's very much not what's happening. You're not going to come at me and tell me what I'm about to do, and then you do what you want to do and you disrespect me. You want me to care about your feelings, but then you have no regard for my feelings. You have no regard for how I feel, but you want me to have all the feels about how you feel. That's not how it works. Respect goes both ways. If you get offended by something, don't be a hypocrite. And in the same breath, disrespect somebody and then say, oh, well, I don't know why they're mad. Fish is an endearing term. But then as soon as a woman says something that you don't like, they every fish this, fish that in a book, and you're saying it in a derogatory way. But then you want us to be okay with it because you want us to claim that it's endearing. No, ma'am. No, sir. I don't like it. So again, on that note, I'm out. I think that the whole B Simone thing is hypocritical. If you're offended, be offended, but be respectful on the other side, or else your offensiveness is just a wash and it's bullshit, period. And that's just that on that. I love everybody, but I know people will still flip it and people like beef. So, when we talk, then, people bring up this and, people like beef. So they'll keep beef going. And I'm just with, what I'm saying? I'm not going to back down from my stance. I'm not going to be bullied from feeling how I feel. You are not about to bully shit up over here. And that's just that, period. So I'm going to continue speaking how I feel. I'm going to also continue to give people respect because it is offensive to people. I'm not going to do what you do because, what I'm saying? I wasn't raised like that. Like, I wasn't raised to, I was raised on do unto others how you want to be treated. So even though you're disrespectful as fuck, I'm still going to operate on a do unto others as, I want to be treated type of thing. I don't want people to call me things that I don't like. So I will respect you for not wanting to be called. But if you disrespect me and you don't care about how I feel, then you can't get mad at the people who don't care about how you feel. And that's just that on that. Thank you guys for watching. Shout out to my moderators. I see Tiff West in the chat, Demaria. S. Pryor is always down for your girl. GC, I see you, boo. Divine Fleming, I don't know, you had a lot of background noise. I wish that you would have been able to chime in. Rockwell K, you always commenting. Shout out to you. Shout out to my night owls who are always holding it down. Shout out to Janella Rogers. Somebody says shout outs to Stevie next wife. Soul Rebels, Crazy Chick. Shout out to all of you guys. And on that note, you know what I'm saying? As I exit out, I got to put my mask on and I got to block the bullshit that's going to come with keeping it real. Because motherfuckers ain't going to keep it real. They get mad when you keep it real. So I got to block the bullshit that's about to come from a bitch keeping it real. And you can find this and you can block the bullshit too, with this built-in mask on my website. You know what I'm saying? And block the bullshit, okay? Block the bullshit. I think that's what I'm gonna name this. Block the bullshit. I think I'm about to rename this on my website. But again, those of you, I have several things. This is a 2-piece set. It comes with bottoms and tops. And it's a built-in mask. And I think I'm about to rename this Block the Bullshit on my website because we got the Block the Bullshit. You can catch this on my site along with other things. Also to the men, I have do-rags available soon. But give me some time to add all of that stuff later. With that being said, I'm out. neekatnight.com. And it's spelled just like my channel. neekatnight.com. Okay. Peace. Yeah, I'm about to rename it, y'all. This is no longer Blackout. This is Block the Bullshit. Block the Bullshit. Okay. All right, y'all. Peace.